name is Eric Williams. I'm a new student in the Educational Leadership Doctoral Program at the American College of Education, and this is my audio-visual presentation to accompany my Learning Enhancement, Advancement, and Direction, or LEAD framework grid that I completed as part of the Module 1 assignment for LEAD 6001, Introduction to Advanced Studies, taught by Dr. Eric Aguilar. This was an interesting assignment for me, not only because it, like the SWOT, required me to reflect upon and analyze my strengths, accomplishments, and areas in need of improvement as an individual, a school administrator, and as a student, but it also because it allowed me to see more clearly the connections between these pieces and ACE's program outcomes, and made me think about the similarities and differences between how I make decisions, learn, and work to improve myself and others in each of these roles. For example, I was able to identify strengths and areas to improve for all 8 outcomes as an individual, as a professional, and as a student. Under strengths, as an individual, I'm very creative, which correlates to outcome 5. As a professional, I'm passionate about affecting systems improvements, which correlates to outcome 2. I have earned a reputation as an effective public school administrator. I can produce professional quality publications using industry standard computer software, which correlates to outcomes 5 and 8. And as a student, I have a strong desire to meaningfully contribute to the existing body of knowledge, which correlates to outcome 4. I'm a competent technical writer, which correlates to outcomes 6 and 8. I excel at finding solutions to complex problems, which correlates to outcomes 2 and 6. Under areas of improvement, as an individual, I need to be more compassionate, which correlates to outcome 4. As a professional, I need to actively seek data points as part of external assessment and accountability systems that will make them more useful to me, which correlates to outcome 4. I need to continually work to develop new teacher leaders and aspiring administrators, which correlates to outcome 3. As a student, under areas to improve, I must strive to stay abreast of current research trends in my areas of interest, which correlates to outcomes 3 and 6, and I must improve my ability to effectively synthesize information gathered from multiple sources in my writing, which correlates to outcomes 6 and 7. In addition, this assignment helped me to recognize that regardless of my role, I'm consistent in how I provide constructive feedback. I usually start by plainly stating the concerns and my expectations. I offer additional assistance, resources, and supports. I mention positives as part of suggesting areas in need of improvement. I follow up on issues as improvement efforts progress and compliment those involved on their efforts. And I maintain my belief that most people are naturally predisposed to being kind and helpful. In contrast, this assignment helped me to identify subtle differences in how I make decisions as a professional versus how I make decisions as a student. Decision making as a professional, I contemplate the impacts on students and families. I ensure it's consistent with policy and best practices. I ensure all impacted parties are involved in decision making and planning. I contemplate how it can be most efficient, systematic, measured, and sustained. And I consider the effects on public perceptions of the organization itself. Under decision-making as a student, I start by considering the existing body of knowledge on topics. I contemplate issues involving practical application. I consider my unique perspectives on topics based on my personal experiences. Then I contemplate established guidelines and expectations for academic work. And then, finally, I predict how long I can sustain a genuine interest in these topics. Obviously, in both roles, I start with what's known, or an investigation. It was interesting for me to discover that I'm more apt to bring my unique perspectives into decisions that I make as a student than I am to do so at work. Also, I had to stop and think about the implications of not being as critical in my studies as I am at work. My first thought when I'm at work, I'm always trying to streamline things to make everyone's lives easier, and as a student, I'm more often rolling up my pants legs and wading out into the complexity of things. In the end, this will be a very useful tool for me as I embark on my doctoral journey. While I have lots of strengths and accomplishments, I still have a lot to learn and improvements to make along the way. Just so you get to know me a little, here are a few of the accomplishments I'm most proud of. Personally, I'm a husband and father to 2 beautiful children, one who's almost 20 and one who just turned 11. I'm a musician who writes and performs his own songs. I just completed recording an album of 10 original songs that I'm going to perform at a music festival in Wyoming this summer. As a professional, I've been a successful grant developer. I've written more than $8 million worth of grants for public school systems, a lot of them federal grant projects that I help to manage. I'm a successful school administrator. And as a student, I earned a master's in journalism from the University of Nebraska, and I'm a published author. Things that really stuck out to me that I need to work on were, personally, I need to do a much better job of maintaining my composure in tense situations. I need to regain the motivation that prompted me to diet and exercise every day so I can get my health back. Professionally, I need to make more time to engage in deep work. I need to do a better job in confronting and resolving conflicts. As a student, I must strive to stay abreast of current research and trends in my areas of interest, and I must not allow my personal biases to affect my areas of emphasis. In addition to recognizing the ways I learn best in the world of academics will be useful as I move forward. In this area, I seek to make explicit connections to my professional experiences. I read, I listen to experts, I organize large projects into smaller, more manageable steps toward completion, and I analyze the qualities of samples and models of products I'm expected to produce. In addition to using the ACE Educational Doctorate Program outcomes to make connections, I made reference to the following sources of information as part of completing this assignment.